Hi, I'm here in Jonesboro, Arkansas at the Oaklawn Cemetery. You can see behind me that there are many hundreds of graves and gravestones. And of course, when we think about a cemetery or graves, we automatically think about death. But really, there's no such thing as death without first the idea of life. And I've chosen to share about what I believe to be the most powerful and precious of all of God's miracles here in this location, and that is the miracle of life, the miracle of creation, the miracle that only God can do, where He can take a man and a woman and create a living soul through them. Right here next to me is my mother's grave. She was buried here many years ago, Peggy Sue Cook Hayes. And I've not been here in 25 years, and she's buried with her father Hensley and her mother Frances. And I just want to share a little bit about that, the miracle of creation, the miracle of life. You know, all over the world, every year, there's about 48 million abortions. And abortion is really the stopping of the miracle of life, the stopping of God's creation. And that's just a statistic, and it's very sad, and I know that many of you who are listening to this would agree with that, but it needs to become personal to us. And a couple of weeks ago, I was in Romania, and I was having a meal with a family, and in that family is a little boy, and he's a very cute boy, very cute, very smart. He's just a couple of years old. And the father was telling me about how special that his little boy is to him and how much he loves him, and he kind of got emotional about that. And then as I listened to him, I began to realize that the reason he was telling me this, the reason the father was telling me about the little boy, is because he was reflecting back to the fact that he had been thinking about aborting the boy. His wife had become pregnant. He didn't see how they could financially afford to have the child, and he just thought, well, maybe it's best to have an abortion. Well, I remember talking to this man's wife at that time, and she really didn't want to have the abortion. And so I just saw that this was my opportunity to encourage her, and I said, don't do that. Please don't do that. We're going to help you. We'll give you whatever you need, but please don't do that to this little child. And so she talked to her husband, and they agreed together that they would not abort the child. And of course, the Lord blessed them with this beautiful little boy. And I'm just so glad that we can be a voice for the voiceless unborn. Really, this baby has become a special, special blessing to both parents, especially that father. And as I was thinking about my little part in that, where I helped to ensure that this baby was brought into this world, a baby who was created with a purpose, created with a destiny, created to be a gift to his parents, a gift to the grandparents, a gift to the world around him. I was just so thankful that I could encourage that woman. And as I thought about that, I realized that in just a few short weeks I would be here at my mother's grave. And some of you know this, but when my mother was pregnant with me, just a couple months along, she was planning to have an abortion. But her cousin, Charles C. Smith, who was from Jonesboro, Arkansas here, talked to my mother and encouraged her, no, don't abort this baby. Don't do that. And my mother's cousin brought my mother to an older couple who talked her out of having the abortion. My mother changed her mind. She gave birth to me, and I came into this world. Sadly, just 5 months after I was born, my mother died. I could say that I never met my mother, but I'm just so thankful to my mother that she changed her mind and she gave birth to me. And through me and getting married to Nora, having 5 children, now 8 grandchildren, I know that we're just so thankful for the miracle of life. We're so thankful that the Lord created me We're so thankful that my mother saved my life and has blessed us so richly in this world. I know to many of you, my life and my family's life have been a blessing. You know, I've made up my mind. I'm thankful to the Lord for that older couple who encouraged my mother. I'm thankful to the Lord for my mother's cousin who did what she could to save my life. And out of thankfulness to the Lord God Almighty for saving my life, giving me life, I'm going to be a voice for the voiceless, unborn babies who would otherwise be aborted. Let's rise up in these last days and be a voice of encouragement to mothers who don't know what to do. They think maybe abortion is the only solution. Let's rise up and save many children, because like my life, they're created to be a blessing to many. Let's do that together, to be thankful to the Lord and to be a voice for the babies. God bless you. Let's be thankful for God's miracle of life, God's miracle of creation. Bye-bye.